Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Austin, and today we're on episode 58 of Pyramid City. Today we're gonna keep going on with the construction. If you're gonna have kids, my tip to you, if you want to save their life, is have them go through genetic testing for Batten disease. So we could treat them as soon as they're born. So we could try treating. So we could prepare parents for when the symptoms kick in. Batten disease is always fatal. The most common type of Batten disease is actually juvenile Batten disease. Usually, people with juvenile Batten disease don't live past 20. Some have been known to live to their 30s. But it's very rare that people live past their 30s. Juvenile Batten disease. Usually, they don't make it past 20 years old. It's pretty sad. There is late infant. There are more types of Batten disease too, like late infantile, which causes death of the patient at around the start of puberty. Usually before they start puberty. But those with infantile Batten disease usually don't live past 5 years old. Congenital Batten disease usually causes death shortly after birth, like within a couple weeks of birth, if not even a couple months after birth. In some very rare cases of Batten disease, babies with Batten disease, in some cases, which are known as feti, plural for fetuses, in some extremely rare cases, the patient ends up dying before they're even born. Some very rare cases of Batten disease. There's also another type of Batten disease, called, like the adult form of Batten disease. It's often called Kouf's disease. It's spelled K-U-F-S disease. Kouf's disease. It's the adult version of Batten disease. The adult version of Batten disease. Usually it happens around middle age. It happens around middle age. It happens around middle age. Genetic testing, we can save so many lives. like that, that way. And it's one of the many congenital lipid storage disorders. All cases of lipid storage disorders are congenital, meaning you're born with it. When it goes to animal farming, I believe we should go towards pasture-raised farming, where farm animals are free-range. They live out their natural lifespans. Instead of taking them to slaughter, you should just let them live out their natural lifespans. And secure the territory to make sure predators don't go into the farmland, killing animals along the way. So you wouldn't have to worry about killing the predators. Make sure. At least, that way, building a wall around their farm will protect the animals and prevent the predators from going into the farm. By preventing predators, it's basically a physical barrier. Basically, physical restraints are the method of last resort. The method of last resort. Just like how some cases, like how physical restraints can prevent patients with Prader-Willi syndrome from eating themselves to death. By locking up all the food. People with Prader-Willi syndrome, left to their own devices, could literally eat themselves to death. They could literally eat themselves to death, if left to their own devices. Some people with Prader-Willi syndrome are known to shoplift, which is why stores must lock their doors when they close. It's one of the reasons why stores need to lock their doors when they close. To make sure, because I know there are people out there who sneak out at night just to steal food. Like, some of those people literally have an insatiable appetite. Sometimes they resort to mugging people for food. Another inborn error of metabolism that you need to know about is something called Smith-Lemli-Opitz syndrome. Basically, your body is not able to synthesize cholesterol at all. Even if you consume meat with that disorder, oftentimes you're not going to live very long. No matter what your diet is. No matter what your diet is. Sometime in the future, I might have to get tested for my fan syndrome. I might have to get tested for my fan syndrome. I might have to get tested for it. If I do have it, I'd try to go for early intervention, to go for treatment right away. The most obvious sign of Marfan syndrome. Usually people with Marfan syndrome develop something called gigantism. Gigantism mixed with scoliosis. Abnormally and grotesquely long legs and arms, aka monkey arms in humans. People with Marfan syndrome have grotesquely long arms and legs. Causes people to grow so tall that so quickly that they'll never be able to walk. Kind of like how chickens are bred to grow so tall so quickly that they are never able to walk, and their heart can't handle the stress, so they end up dying before slaughter because of heart problems. Yeah, like that. It's pretty sad that people are breeding animals to grow so large so quickly. It's pretty sad. How? Unnatural diets, growth hormones, and, yes, antibiotics. How? Does antibiotics stimulate growth in animals? By killing off the gut bacteria that would take some of the nutrients from them. The antibiotic overusage in factory farms is adding fuel to the obesity epidemic, too. Which means you gotta be careful on your next baby. And skip the macas. Instead, make your own brekkie. That's what I'd probably sound like if I was raised in Australia. Or New Zealand. Sometime in the future, I might say g'day to Phantom Strider, like in person. I might say g'day to Phantom Strider in person. If you're watching this, Phantom Strider, g'day Phantom Strider. G'day Phantom Strider. He's Australian, actually. But he sounds kind of British. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he has, like, people with autism tend to experiment with different accents. I'm one of those. People with autism. I do to reduce my urge to physically hurt people, I work out a lot. As a means of, as a diversion. I work out a lot. I work out. Like, usually I exercise for about 2 hours a day, 2.5 hours a day. I exercise for about 2.5 hours a day. Without the walking. Walking's included. Between 2.5 hours and 4.5 hours. Between 3 and 4.5 hours. Sometimes Phantom Strider would visit foreign countries like what do you call foreign countries like Canada and the good old USA. Good old USA. There is a YouTuber discusses a lot of facts. He's based in England. His name is Aaron Lomas, aka 42. 42. He tells very interesting facts about life around us. Caffeine you get that is put into your soda actually comes from coffee beans after they decaffeinate the coffee to sell the decaffeinated coffee to some people with heart problems. That is an example of a rhotic British accent that it was doing. Some people with heart problems. Whether it be cardiovascular, like coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. Congenital heart defects. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Hypertrophy. Australia is pronounced hypertrophy. 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 hypertrophy is how some British people pronounce it, and Irish people. Hypertrophy. In the world of Prader-Willi syndrome, all the food is kept under lock and key. All the food is kept under lock and key. All the food is kept under lock and key. So patients won't eat themselves to death. Because that'd be pretty sad. Hear that your child died from a ruptured stomach because you let them unsupervised with a medical condition that causes an insatiable appetite called Prader-Willi syndrome. Liegestützen. Für Cartoon Networks 30 Geburtstag. Ich will machen ein Kostüm von Moxie bei der Moxie Show. Das ist mich. Das ist mich gesprochen. Das ist mich gesprochen. Das ist mich sprach. Das ist sprach mich Deutsch. 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 Wer ist Moxie? Er ist ein Hund Orang. Wer ist Moxie? Er ist ein und Ranga. Er trägt ein gelbes T-Shirt. Schwarz und rot. Schwarz und Rot. Schwarz und Rot. Kurze Hosen. Kurze Hosen. Kurze Hosen. Schwarz und Weiß Schuhe. Weißhandschuhe. Und Weißhandschuhe. Er ist ein Orangehund. Eine Orangehund. Er trägt ein gelbes T-Shirt, schwarz und rot, kurze Hosen, schwarz und weiß Schuhe und Handschuhe weiß. Die Moxie Show ist ein kurzer TV-Show. Source the TV show. Auf Cartoon Netzwerk. The Moxie Show. Es wurde ausgestrahlt. The Moxie Show wurde ausgestrahlt 1993 und endete in 2000. Und endete in 2000. Ich habe die Handschuhe und ein gelbes T-Shirt. Aber ich alles, was ich brauche, ist EVA-Form, Range Unitat und schwarz und rot. Schachbrett. Schwarz und rot Schachbrett. Kurze Hose. Schachbrett. Kurze Hosen. The reason I was doing this in a foreign language is I like to keep this kind of confidential. Because I don't want to spoil the anniversary. Schachbrett. 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 And thank you, Danke, and thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more content like this. Don't forget to leave a like if you like this video. Dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe for more content like this. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more content like this. As always, thank you for watching, stay tuned for more, and choose.